My name is Elena Harper. I'm 37, and I live in a small rental half a block from the park where my kids' laughter echoes like a promise. My son Noah is 9, meticulous in everything he does, from tying his shoes to organizing his action figures. My daughter, Lily, 6, is chaos and sparkle all at once, convinced the world is made of glitter and stories that haven't been told yet. Life with them is steady, rhythmic, and exhausting in the way only loving, small-scale chaos can be. On Mondays, I juggle budgets and spreadsheets. On Tuesdays, I ask about spelling lists and playground politics. By Wednesday, I've usually learned that they've already solved my adult problems without asking. I manage a warehouse for my day job, where I stack boxes with precision and carry a tiny notebook that my colleagues laugh at, but it contains everything: vendor numbers, grocery lists, reminders, dreams. 2 months ago, my life shifted like a floor tilting under my feet. Paige, Tyler's ex-girlfriend, called. She was 29, brilliant in the way the world notices immediately. Luminous, commanding, untouchable. Paige has a job in event planning, which essentially means she makes everything feel like it should exist in magazines, Instagram feeds, or the memory of someone who will never forget her. She said, "Elena, I'm getting married. Malibu. I need you to help with the boring stuff. You're so good at boring." I nodded over the phone, my mind racing. Deposit, vendor emails, shuttle confirmations, seating charts. I'd already begun to picture the scene. Chairs in neat rows, a gentle breeze, the sun striking the Pacific just right. I imagined Noah and Lily watching, participating, proud to see their aunt's dream come alive. I assumed, of course, they'd be invited. But the next Wednesday, my inbox glowed like a warning beacon. Subject, quick wedding update. Hey, quick thing. The ceremony is super curated. No kids, no plus ones, just core energy. Still obsessed with you. Obviously, if your kids want to be a part of it, they can watch through Google Earth, LOL. Love you. I read it twice, then 3 times, letting the words land like sharp little stones in my chest. No kids. Google Earth. LOL. My children, the ones who practiced saying Malibu in the car, were a joke in her sentence. Noah wandered into the kitchen, socks slapping against the hardwood. "Is she excited?" he asked. "She's planning," I said, voice even. "Do we need new shoes?" I smiled, washing a cup that didn't need washing. I didn't respond to the email yet. My mind clutched at the memory of all the deposits I'd already sent, all the late-night vendor emails, all the grocery store cupcakes tested over FaceTime while balancing spreadsheets on my lap. That night, after tucking Lily into bed, she asked softly, "Do flower girls get to keep the petals?" "Always," I whispered, staring at the ceiling, listening to the house hunker down around me. At midnight, I sent 10 words. "Sure. Enjoy your big day. E." I turned off the kitchen light. The click echoed like a verdict. By morning, my phone buzzed with a storm. Paige calling, texting, Tyler pinging, my mother leaving cryptic messages about family and obligation. I ignored it. I made waffles for the kids. I made lunch. I moved in motion because panic only grows when you stand still. I reminded myself of all the ways my life had been a relay of other people's emergencies. When my father left, my mother said, "We're a team." I understood. I patched holes, kept the peace, made life run, while Paige, Tyler's ex, now fiancé, basked in the sunshine she always carried. Money had been my tether to family, my invisible leash. I wired deposits, handled Costco cards, signed vendor contracts. My savings disappeared under line items labeled, "Will settle later." My children's faces floated in my mind like photographs I couldn't touch. And yet here I was, trying to reconcile the girl I'd been, trained to be useful, with the woman I wanted to become. One who could say no without shame. The email's words circled in my skull. Curated, no kids, Google Earth, LOL. I felt the old familiar ache. Useful, invisible, expendable. I had a choice now. Bend, pay, facilitate, be invisible again, or draw a line. And I decided in that quiet, fluorescent-lit kitchen to stand. The morning after my 10-word email, Paige called. 7 times before 7:30 a.m., each ring a little hammer against my calm. My mother texted, "Call your sister. She's upset. Don't ruin this." I didn't pick up. I was making lunches. Noah wanted turkey with mustard. Lily wanted her apple slices cut like little boats. The chaos felt grounding, a counterpoint to Paige's curated universe. By noon, my phone had a dozen missed calls and an email with the subject line, "Boundaries." It was practically a legal brief. She accused me of hostility, of forcing her to choose between her wedding and my children. She wrote like I was a department, not a person. She never mentioned the money, the deposits I'd fronted, the Costco gift cards, the shuttle retainer, the tent, nothing. I typed one line, "I won't argue over my kids. I wish you a beautiful day." And I hit send, letting the forklift beeper in the warehouse sync with the rhythm of my heartbeat. All afternoon, my life felt like a battle between my sense of duty and my sense of self. I spread the invoices and receipts across my kitchen table. Candle invoice, tent deposit, shuttle retainer, venue security hold. Each number was a small betrayal wrapped in my love for family. I realized, painfully, I'd been funding a version of Paige that existed only when she needed a card, a check, a favor. The breaking point arrived during a lunch break, fluorescent lights glaring, the warehouse humming around me. I had to authorize the final venue payment, and my name and card were already on the contract. I texted Paige, "Venue needs payment by 5. My card is no longer available." 2 minutes later, her voice erupted over the phone. "Elena, what are you doing? You wouldn't—" "I'm not canceling anything," I said, stepping into the hallway. "I'm just not paying for your wedding anymore." Her silence was sharp, a knife held to my chest. Then, "This is rotten. You're punishing me." "This isn't revenge. I'm done being an intern in your life while my kids are a punchline," I said. Tyler, calm in that annoyingly curated way, chimed in. "Elle, let's keep the vibes chill. You know how weddings go." "I do," I said, voice even. "Adults make decisions. One of mine is no more charges." They paid. I watched the confirmation arrive, a relief wrapped in humiliation. Paige texted, "Happy?" "Yes. Humiliating, but yes." That night, my mother called, disappointment thick in her voice. "I'm breaking my heart, Elena." I didn't call back. I blocked her numbers that weren't urgent. I focused on my kids. On Saturday morning, Noah and Lily and I staged a little rebellion. Waffles, a scavenger hunt at the park, a glitter-filled movie fort in the living room. Their joy, uncurated and chaotic, was the antidote to Paige's perfect day. By Sunday, Paige sent photos from Malibu. Ocean, dresses, light, laughter. The captions, "We did it." My stomach ached, but I looked at Noah and Lily, asleep under their blanket fort, and whispered, "We did it too." Weeks later, Paige sent a text, finally human, no PR draft. "I'm sorry I said that about the kids. It was cruel. I still wanted you there." I wrote back, "I wanted us there," and I left the phone aside, letting closure settle like sediment in a riverbed. The lesson was clear. Boundaries are not punishment. They are instructions, for everyone else and for yourself. For years, I had been invisible, useful, expendable. Now I was present, counted, alive. My kids had their own photo wall, our own stories. Elena Harper, 37, warehouse manager, mother, keeper of tiny notebooks and big hearts. Finally, a woman who could say no and mean it. Monday morning, the world felt deceptively quiet. Noah was at school. Lily had set up a parade of stuffed animals across the living room, and I had a moment, finally, to breathe. The phone stayed on silent. My mother's texts, Paige's calls, Tyler's checking in messages, all were ignored. I felt a mix of relief and guilt. Guilt isn't always rational, but it's sticky, like glitter in carpet fibers. I reminded myself, I had done what I needed to do. No one else would protect my children if I didn't. I flipped through the receipts, contracts, and spreadsheets one more time. Numbers don't lie. I hadn't just funded a wedding. I'd funded someone else's self-image at the expense of my family. Mid-morning, the doorbell rang. My mother. She looked like she'd walked through an emotional hurricane, hair slightly mussed, eyes watery. "Elena," she started, clutching her purse like a lifeline. I didn't open the door fully. I let her speak through the screen, a barrier that somehow felt protective. Your sister, she's hurt," she said, voice cracking. "You need to call her. You need to—" "No," I interrupted carefully. "I need to be present for my kids. They aren't a bargaining chip." Her expression faltered. "Elena, this is family. Family doesn't invoice feelings." Family doesn't make my children a joke either, I said. I'm done paying for someone else's drama. She looked like I'd spoken Martian. She lingered a moment, then left without another word, leaving the screen door rattling slightly in the breeze. Later that afternoon, I checked the mailbox. A card from Paige, small and awkward, with a note that tried too hard to be light. Hope the kids had fun today. We missed you. I stared at it. The words were hollow, almost performative, but I folded it carefully and set it aside. One day I might respond, but not now. Noah and Lily were at the kitchen table, coloring. Noah asked, "Are we still a team, Mom?" I smiled, brushing a stray lock of hair from his forehead. Always. We count here. It hit me then, the quiet power of small acts. Waffles on Saturday, scavenger hunts, glitter forts. The joy of our little family had become a rebellion, a statement that we exist beyond curated photos and staged perfection. That evening, Paige texted again, one line this time. "Can we talk?" I paused. There was no rush. I didn't text back immediately. I waited, letting the pause send its own message. Boundaries are meaningful, even if uncomfortable. Meanwhile, Tyler reached out separately. "Hey, just want you to know, we didn't mean to put you in a bind. Hope we can fix this." I typed back, "I'll engage when I'm ready. For now, my kids and I have our own plans." By bedtime, Lily was asleep in the blanket fort, Noah beside her. I sat on the floor, looking at the messy, imperfect kingdom we had built. It smelled faintly of glue, nachos, and triumph. I realized that my identity as Elena Harper, the dependable, often invisible sister, was changing. I was no longer the background character in Paige's story. I was the lead in my own. And yet, a part of me stayed wary. The family might forgive, but forgiveness doesn't erase patterns. There were still emails to come, comments to navigate, apologies to weigh. The tension between love and self-preservation had never been clearer. In the silence, I made a decision. I would respond to Paige, not as the enabler, the bank, or the unpaid assistant, but as a sister who sets her terms. My children's happiness would no longer be conditional on anyone else's comfort. Elena Harper, 37, mother, warehouse manager, architect of forts and boundaries, felt a surge of clarity. The storm of the wedding was past, but the ripples would shape the future, and I was ready. Tuesday morning brought the kind of calm that felt almost suspicious. Noah was at school, Lily was building another fortress of pillows and books, and I had the kitchen to myself, quiet enough to hear the faint hum of the refrigerator. But the quiet carried tension. Every ping on my phone now set my chest racing, a reflexive heartbeat of past chaos. Paige texted first. "Can we meet? I want to talk, not about the wedding, about us." I paused. I wanted to type, "Not now," but something soft stirred in me. I replied carefully. "We can talk Thursday, at my place. Coffee." Thursday arrived like a measured tide. Paige appeared at the door, framed by sunlight and Malibu weekend energy. Still clinging to her. She looked tired, but there was a sincerity in her eyes I hadn't seen in weeks. I held the door just enough to keep control of the encounter. "Hi," she said, hesitating. "Hey," I replied. "Come in. Lily's building something dangerous. Watch your step." We sat across from each other at the kitchen table. No kids yet. They were playing in the fort, swords of cardboard in hand, unaware of the adult tensions unfolding nearby. Paige spoke first, her voice low. I overstepped. The Google Earth joke. It was cruel. I didn't think. I let her words hang. The silence felt like a scale, balancing truth against intention. "You didn't think about them, or me," I said finally. She nodded, shame flickering across her features. I was wrapped up in the vision. I didn't see the cost. I didn't see that you were footing more than bills. You were taking on my expectations, my ego." The word hung heavy. Ego. I remembered every spreadsheet, every deposit, every late-night text filled with frantic, help me energy. "It hurt," I said simply. "Not because of money, because my kids were treated like a joke." Paige's eyes filled. "I see that now. I can't undo it, but I want to." I nodded slowly. "Then start by seeing them. Truly seeing us. Not just as props in your wedding story." She swallowed. "I want that. I missed a lot by assuming you'd just handle it. I didn't even consider how it made you feel." There was a pause, thick with the weight of unspoken history. I thought about the years of imbalance, the early mornings ferrying her to appointments, the silent support at every event, the countless times I put her comfort above my own family's well-being. I need boundaries, Paige, and respect, not just apologies. She nodded again. I can do that, I promise. I don't want to keep repeating this. You're my sister, and I lost sight of that. The conversation shifted slowly, moving from recrimination to tentative planning. Paige wanted to include the kids in future family events. She wanted genuine connection, not just photo ops or curated moments. We set small, clear steps, more shared dinners, game nights, honest check-ins. Yet the tension lingered in subtle ways. Tyler popped in via text. Glad you two are talking. Don't kill each other. I smiled briefly. Even Tyler's casual humor couldn't mask the lingering unease. Later, Noah and Lily emerged from the fort, triumphant. Their world hadn't paused for adult drama, and somehow that made the kitchen feel lighter. Paige crouched, meeting their eyes. I missed you guys. I'm sorry, she said. Lily tilted her head, skeptical but curious. Noah just shrugged, a slow smile creeping onto his face. Okay, Aunt P, he said. I felt a quiet victory. Relationships were complicated, messy, and full of unspoken rules. But in that moment, a fragile bridge was forming. Not perfect, not fully repaired, but enough to start. That night, as the house settled, I watched my children drift into sleep. The fort still stood, a chaotic testament to resilience and creativity. I realized the most meaningful victories weren't in spreadsheets or invoices. They were in moments like these, tiny and significant. Paige's presence had shifted. There was humility now, an acknowledgement of past errors. But I remained cautious. History wasn't erased. Trust, once strained, needed time to rebuild. I went to bed with the knowledge that this was only the beginning. True reconciliation would demand honesty, consistency, and, most importantly, the courage to prioritize family over appearances. Elena Harper, 37, felt the weight of both progress and caution. I was learning that boundaries didn't mean closing doors. They meant controlling which doors opened and to whom, and this time I was holding the key. Saturday morning began like any other, soft light spilling into the living room, the aroma of waffles drifting from the kitchen. Noah and Lily were already awake, arguing over who got the first piece of syrup-dripping toast. I smiled. This was our world now, imperfect, chaotic, but ours. The phone lay face down, silent. For the first time in weeks, I wasn't waiting for a text, an email, or a crisis disguised as urgency. Paige arrived mid-morning, unannounced but welcome. She carried a small bouquet of wildflowers and wore no wedding dress, no curated perfection, just herself. Her smile was tentative but genuine. Hi, she said, lowering the bouquet to the counter. I thought I'd start with flowers, not apologies. Kids first. Lily ran forward, inspecting the flowers as if they were treasure. Noah hung back, skeptical, arms crossed, eyes calculating. These are nice, Lily declared. You picked them? Paige knelt, meeting her gaze. Yes, I thought you might like them. Noah finally stepped closer. Do we have to water them? He asked, voice half challenge, half curiosity. I laughed softly. Only if you want them to survive. We spent the morning together, making waffles, laughing at spilled syrup, and building a miniature fort around the kitchen table. Paige participated in small ways, pouring juice, stacking plates, but never tried to dominate the scene. She listened, she helped, she observed. It was a start. Later, I pulled Paige aside. I need you to know something. Boundaries aren't walls. They're instructions. I'm done being an unpaid wedding planner. I'm done being treated like an intern for my own family. But I'm not done being your sister. Not with the kids. Not with you. She nodded, eyes glossy. I get it. I do. I don't want to break that again. We didn't need to say more. Actions, not words, would cement the change. And the kids noticed. By afternoon, Noah and Lily were already planning a sister sleepover in the living room. Paige laughed along, genuinely present. By evening, the kitchen was quiet. The fort had been disassembled, the crumbs swept into a neat line along the floor. Paige and I sat together, coffee in hand, watching our children tumble through playtime laughter. You've changed, she said softly. We've all changed, I replied. The difference is, I'm not sacrificing my family to fix yours anymore. Paige nodded, accepting the truth in a way that didn't sting. For the first time, I felt a sense of balance. Precarious, yes, but real. That night, I put Lily to bed. She held a small bouquet of petals from the day. They're mine, right? She asked. Always yours, I whispered, tucking the petals under her pillow. Noah peeked around the doorframe, carrying a paper star he had traced from the fort earlier. We made our own day, he said, grin wide. We did, I agreed, hugging him close. Later, alone in the quiet of the living room, I reflected on the past weeks. The chaos, the emails, the money, the emotional strain. The lessons were clear: boundaries, honesty, and prioritizing the people who truly mattered. Paige's wedding had been a crucible, but it had also been a mirror, reflecting the strength I had learned to claim for myself and my children. I texted Paige a simple message. Thank you for trying. Kids love today. No fanfare, no long explanation, just acknowledgement. She replied with a heart emoji. Enough. The next morning, I updated the fridge calendar. No wedding columns, no obligations outside our family bubble. Just ordinary, meaningful life. School pickups, soccer practice, story time, bedtime stories, waffles on Sunday. I felt a deep, quiet satisfaction. Life didn't need to be spectacular or curated. It needed to be real. Messy sometimes, but ours. Elena Harper, 37, mother, sister, protector, and newly self-assured, closed the day with a rare feeling: serenity. The children slept peacefully. The fort of pillows and blankets lay in disarray, our little monument to resilience and imagination. And for the first time in a long time, I felt we had won in our own way. Paige would always be my sister. My children would always come first. And I had finally learned that saying no doesn't close doors. It defines them, firmly, clearly, lovingly. The next time someone tried to treat my family as an accessory to their story, I would remember today. And the reply would be simple: boundaries clear, love intact. I switched off the kitchen light, the house humming with quiet life. And in the stillness, I knew one thing: we were exactly where we were meant to be.